In terms of the energy that your body needs, the orange part is the largest. It has a lot of the... Yes. Yes. Now, when it comes to bread, you have white bread or you have whole grain bread, okay, which has less manipulation to it. So which one would you choose? So now you have to go through the thought process of choosing the healthier choice. Okay, so the whole grain bread is a much healthier choice than the white bread because the white bread is more processed, it's more refined. Any other questions? Yes. That's just how it sets up, how it's set up, yeah. Yes.
And also, I agree with you that physical education is needed, but our schools have physical education in them. It's not enough. It's a requirement in school for kids to exercise.
Yes.
But you can think they need more than that.
Yes. Yes, they will need more. They have how long, any teachers in the room? Yes, we have some teachers. How long is the physical education period? 45 minutes to 60 minutes. And how many times a week would they get physical activity? Once a week. So, yes, more is needed. Yes. How long is their break period? Half an hour. 2 segments of 15 minutes. So that's an hour a day. Oh, okay. So it's broken into two 15 minutes. So no. Yes. I think when I was growing up, it used to be longer than that. Yes, it was. Yes. They changed a lot because some are 15 and then they have yeah. That they would do more. And it would be a good idea to increase the school hours. Some teachers might get upset, but I think 1 o'clock is a little too early to finish school.
Why is it that some schools are discouraging parents from sending or from giving their children certain foods to bring to school?
Why some teachers?
Why some schools are discouraging parents from giving their children certain types of foods to bring to school?
For example?
For example, some schools are discouraging that they don't give the children any sweets to come to school, or that they do not give the children any cookies, or certain types of processed foods.
Yes. Because they are not as healthy, so they are trying to encourage the children to eat healthier in schools.
Does it have an effect on the children at all? Or?
Well, with sugary foods, it gives you that quick sugar rush, and then you plateau, and then your energy level goes very low after that. So it's a crash, yes. So you have this quick high energy, very alert, and then all of a sudden, probably in the afternoon, when you need their attention, they're not focused either. So you have those that are not focused in the morning, and then you have another set that are not focused in the afternoon. Which is why breakfast, as I mentioned earlier, from my experience when I go to do information sessions in the schools, the children are not alert. You can see the ones that either lack sleep or didn't have breakfast in the morning. And it's so sad because we do sessions and we go there for like 8 o'clock or 8:30 or 9 o'clock, depending on which school it is. And that's too early to see a child like this. It's too early to see a child with their head down on the table and not focus on their sleeping. One is disrespectful to the instructor, to the person. I can imagine how tiring it is for the teachers to be always having to, hey, sit up, get up. You didn't sleep last night? What you do last night? I went out, teacher, to a ladies' night last night. High school, we hear these things. And then primary school, they probably stay up too late watching TV or playing with a cousin or a brother or sister or something. So the parents need to become more structured with what they're doing at home. Put your child early to. I used to go to sleep at 7 o'clock. We had to hit our bed. We may not fall asleep at 7 o'clock or 7:30. But that's the time you need to be in your bed in order to feel fresh and awake in the morning when you have to wake up to catch the bus or to be dropped to school. School starts 7:30 still. So imagine that the child is not going to sleep 7 or 8, they're going to sleep 9, 10. That's not enough rest for a child. It's not enough rest for an adult, much less a child. And then you have to fight to wake them up in the morning and you send them to school, but you don't know how they're performing in school because they're restless, they're not focused, they didn't eat breakfast in the morning, they're half asleep, they're not alert and learning their lessons. So it's not just affecting how they look and behave in class, it's affecting their learning abilities. And that's our challenge. It starts at home. We often hear persons blaming the teachers, this, the teachers, that. But if the teacher always have to be, hey, wake up, get up, focus, leave Susie alone, leave Andy alone, stop harassing them. It takes away from the learning lessons. It takes away from their peers learning in class. Okay? I had a session too in one of the schools. I think I shouldn't call the name of the school. I did a session in the school, in one of the high schools, and it was so disheartening because I had to stop my session to talk to the children and say, boy, if y'all was standing in my position, it looks so sad because everybody looks so tired and sleepy. I said, this is y'all time to learn. This is your opportunity. Don't let the opportunity pass you by. Don't worry what your next classmate have because their opportunities may not be your opportunities. Yours may not be theirs. You may have to end up fighting harder than they do in life. Then you will have regrets because you let this learning opportunity pass, and when you let your learning opportunities pass, that means you have to fight extra harder in life to either catch up with education or to fight extra harder in life finding a job, working 2 jobs. You see it with your parents. Some of you may have parents that have to work 2 jobs or 3 jobs. And you wouldn't want that for yourself either. So getting the proper education is the first defense with having a lifestyle that you want to be able to live. So nutrition is not always just about nutrition. Nutrition affects all other aspects in our life that we don't even realize. Nutrition always tends to take the back burner in life, in society. If our pockets are tight, the first thing we cut back on is what we buy and put in the house, right? Okay, but we tend to buy the junk foods when we have money. If we cut that out, then that's fine, but we tend to cut back also on the healthy items like the fruits and the vegetables and so forth. When it comes to that, healthy is, fresh is always better, but then our next step that we can buy cheaper is fruits and vegetables. Canned vegetables is not so great because it's very high in sodium. However, it's still a choice if you really, really can't afford anything else. So moving along, we have another tool that we can use, which is called the portion plate. So instead of measuring your food like half a cup of rice or a full 1 cup of leafy green vegetables, We can use the portion plate to determine whether or not we're eating enough fruits or vegetables, or if we have enough fruits and vegetables on our plates. Okay, so from the diagram you can see half of our plate should be fruits or vegetables, a quarter of our plate our grains, and another quarter of our plate the meats or the proteins.
But isn't that, if you have a small plate, then is that sufficient enough versus a big plate, is that sufficient enough?
There's
a.
It depends on the plate, yes. The standard plate, I can't remember the diameter in width. I think it's either 8 or 9 in diameter. I can't remember. But it depends also on the size of your plate. However, per individual, it can vary too, because what you eat as an adult may be different as a child. What a man that's doing hard labor would eat something different than a person that has a sedentary lifestyle, who needs a different level of calories.
So you're just taking, you say this taking on the basis of just adults.
Yes.
Is that half of weight sufficient for all adults?
Yes. In one
So
setting.
you just need to know the size of the plate.
Yes. Yes. You can work with the size of the plate. But even
8 inches is a normal size plate.
about 8, we have larger plates than that, 10, 12 and up.
But you're saying 8.
Yes. So this is one method that you can use rather than having to measure your foods all the time. This is not what we usually see within society. We tend to see a lot of rice, which is half the plate. If we happen to order from a local restaurant in the styrofoam food container, half of the container is the rice. You have 1/4 of the container, the salad, and then the next quarter they would put the meat, or they put the meat on top of the rice, that kind of thing. So we need to kind of change it up a bit. Ask them to put a little less rice, a little more vegetables, That's what I try to do. Ask them to, not so much rice, a little bit more vegetables if you can. Or when you go, if it's possible? Yes. If you ask them, they would. Some of them may say, oh, well, you have to pay a little extra for the vegetables, depending on which establishment you may go to.
It says a half meat and meat alternative. What's the meat alternative?
Meat alternative is also the beans, nuts, and so forth. Okay, the next slide is now the estimating portion size. So rather than, like I said, if you don't want to measure, you can estimate your portion sizes. Okay, and here they have the different items that that gives you an idea of an estimated portion size. Some of the material you may see out there too, they use the palm of your hand, the size of your fist, the palm of your hand for the meat, the size of your fist for the carbs. I'm not sure what's for the vegetables too. Oh, the whole palm of the hand. Yes. So we're going to move on to our snacks and beverages. Our favorite part, because in St. Martin we love to eat. Right? Eating makes us feel good. We eat when we go out. We eat when we party. So eating is our bonding food, right? Okay, so we have to get back to eating for our body, eating for health. And our snacks tend to fall in the area of being our comfort foods. We snack when we're watching TV. We snack when we're bored. We snack when we're sad. We snack when we are more alone than when we have company with us. So snacking by all means, supposed to be a food that holds us until our next meal. So we had breakfast in the morning. Let's say we had breakfast 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 in the morning before we go to work or school. And then we have a snack mid-morning, probably like around 10, 10:30. And our snacks should be foods that we don't really include during our meal times. Okay, it's foods that would give us the nutrients that our main meals are not able to give us. Okay, so for example, yes, nuts is a good example because we don't tend to eat nuts during our meal times. Nuts are very high in proteins, but it's also high in some good fatty acids and oils. Then we have a snack again in the afternoon or mid-afternoon. Now, we're talking about snacks, and snacks seem to be a good thing to introduce in our diet. However, if you're going to be changing your diet, you don't maintain the same large portions you may eat throughout your main meals. You would reduce them because now you're introducing snacks, and snacks are supposed to hold you over till the next main meal. Now, if you introduce snacks and you don't do that, then you're increasing your calories per day. And if you're not doing physical activity, what happens? Yes, you tend to gain weight. Okay. So a lot of the snacks that we see, if we're not choosing fruits and vegetables, are processed foods. And why processed foods are not so good for us? Because of the preservatives in it, and preservatives tend to be sodium, can be used as a preservative, or sugars can be used as a preservative. So you see they are high in sodium, they're high in calories, they're high in sugar, and tend to be low in nutrients. For example, if I feel like snacking on something sweet and I choose Oreos over a fruit, I'm not getting the same nutrients that I would have gotten if I had chosen a fruit. I have here, I should do that now, an example of. Now, not only the parents, I wouldn't blame the parents only for the type of snacks that the children eat. We tend to have unhealthy snacks in the schools, a lot of sweet stuff you find in the schools, and also in the outer vicinity of the school. So if if you don't pick up your child from school, or if your child catches the bus to go home, they may stop in the store just across from the school or a little further down the street and buy something sweet, candy, ice cream, and so forth. Cookies. Okay?
But didn't you say nutrition starts at home?
Yes, I did. Yes.
So
But
if
some
it's
parents
taught
give
at
the
home-
kids allowance and they go.
But if it's taught at home, what's right, what's not, then they carry it over.
Yes.
So the majority is the parents.
Yes.
It's coming back to the parents.
Yes. Okay, the parents have to be able to monitor the children to know if they're going to school with money, are they using the money for what they're supposed to use it for. If you're giving them lunch, make sure that they eat their lunch.
But when you go a step even before that, it says the parents have to teach them
Yes.
what the kids do.
Yes.
And that only happens at home. And if it's taught there, then they carry it out there and
Yeah.
they so what's around.
If we educate them now and we
That educate the
live
parents.
as an example, the parents and the children both, and we are able to do that, we have a less chance of them going out there buying unhealthy things. We can't always control what they do when they're not in our presence, but at least it would help. Yes. So this is one example I tend to use when I do sessions like this. We have Oreo cookies. Everybody loves Oreo cookies. Right? How many calories do you think are in Oreo cookies? In one Oreo cookie? Who can guess? Oh. A little lower. A little higher. 90. In one cookie. Okay? Now we have this, I don't know if y'all ever saw them. We have those Oreo cookies that have 6 in a pack. So this is a 6-pack cookie. Right? Okay. So one serving is one cookie. And one cookie has 90 calories in it. The pack has 2 servings in it. Okay. So imagine you send your child to school. They happen to walk with a little change in their pocket. You pack a good lunch for them and everything. Lunch, they have their snack, their fruits and everything in their bag. And they came home from school and you're wondering, but why you eat everything in your bag? What happened? I don't like that, Mommy. But imagine they have a little pocket change, or their friend have a little pocket change. This is what they're eating instead of the snack you pack for them. So we have the cookies, 2 servings. So you think you as an adult, you like sweet. You have a sweet tooth, tatty. You would eat 1 cookie? How many you would eat? The whole pack, right? So, okay, we eat the whole pack. Wait. I did it wrong. Sorry. 3. Sorry, I did it wrong. So 3 cookies, 90 calories. I have the full label, so I'm going to share them out a little later. Maybe whoever get it will tell me if I did it right. But the concept I'm trying to get, 2 times 90 is how much? So from eating the pack of cookies, you're eating 180 calories if you eat the entire pack. Now, you're not just going to eat cookies, right? You don't buy a soda, right? Huh? The children will buy Buster or Chubby, but we adults, we like Coke, right? So we have a can of Coke. Now, a can of Coke, the whole can is the 1 serving. How many calories do you think is in a can of Coke? How much? 30? 130. Close. Who can guess? A little lower. Higher. Yes, 140. Okay, so a can of Coke is 140 calories. Plus the 180, how much is that? My maths isn't strong, I didn't do good in school. How much? 320 calories. Okay, just from that snack alone. Okay? That's a lot of calories because soon after eating the cookies and drinking the Coke in this hot weather, by the time you reach home, you're done hungry already, right? So you're either going to eat your dinner, that's probably going to bring you up to, roughly guessing, let's say we order pizza. It's family night, Tuesday night, we order pizza. 2 for 1 pizza, 2 for 1. How many, on average, how many slices would you eat? Men?
6.
Men? 6? 6 slices? What kind of pizza are we ordering? Chicken, pepperoni. We're going to make it a little tropical pizza with pineapple on top. Pizza. Okay, so 6 slices. How many calories do you think you will find in one slice of pizza? Guessing? One slice. Call a number, anybody? 150. Somebody say 150. Somebody on the phone? Say that again. Somebody call a number. You said it? Okay. I think y'all on your phones or something. Okay, 300 calories in one. Yes. Yes. Okay, 300 calories. This is a Domino's pizza, 1 slice, ham and pineapple. 300 calories. So the men eating 6 slices. How many? $1,800 calories, and you're going to sleep with 8. Not even 1,800 because we are, when it comes with Coke, right? Right. The 2-liter bottle, right? Yes. How you burning it off? When? You go in gym 9 o'clock after you finish eating pizza?
Okay, so you have that for breakfast?
No, this is...
Okay? If you
If
have
it-
the pizza and the soda for breakfast?
For breakfast? No.
You're burning it off during the day?
No. You're burning it off, yes. But the nutrient content, it's high in fats, high in salt. It's a lot of starch. So you have, even though you may burn it off, it's how your body also breaks it down. There's a video that I wanted to also show that sugar is one thing outside of the body, but it's different once it's in your body. And why it's so is because it's how your body breaks it down. You have complex carbs that takes longer to break down in your body, and then you have simple carbs that breaks down very quickly in the body. And why it affects us is because of how our body breaks it down and tries to get rid of it. That puts a strain on our organs. Okay, you make the pancreas work extra hard when it has to break down simple carbs. And pizza dough is simple carbs. Okay, so imagine you eating 6 slices with 180 calories and you have to break that down. Okay, and then we have the Coke on top of that, which is nothing but sugar and water. And we're not just going to drink 1 cup. Let's say we have 2 cups. And these are big cups, so we're just going to pretend that it's still the 140 calories. Okay, so that's 640 calories. I'm not even going to calculate that. Come on, Rodney, help me out here. Yes. So that's a lot of calories. This is how much a person should have in one day from all 3 meals, including snacks, on average. That's way too much from 1 meal in the day. So this is 1 meal in the day, and your nighttime meal that you're not even going to be able to burn off. So you have your calories from your breakfast. You probably burn that off by now. But then you have your lunch calories that you probably still haven't worked off. And then your afternoon snack on top of the 2,440 calories. That's a lot. A lot of calories. Right?
What would be an example? You said simple and complex. What would be an example of complex?
Complex would be sweet potato would fall in complex. Whole grains would fall in complex carbs. You also can get it from fibrous foods, foods that have roughage and fiber in it. Our body can break down fiber, so it stays longer in our body and helps with also digestion and so forth. You may not have the same, they're going to be full. So it's going to satisfy their hunger, and they're going to have the energy to focus. It's how long after that now it would affect them. Because they will eat a pizza at what time in school? In the morning, you're talking about? In the break? I didn't know that. This is when they order pizza from Domino's, or this is what the school sells? What the school sell? Domino's? Oh. Oh, okay. It depends, because protein also takes long to break down in the body. So if you have protein on it, it would somewhat balance it out a bit. But they tend to order, I think the cheese pizza and the pepperoni is the most popular ones, right? So it may not necessarily have a drastic effect on their behavior, but it depends on the individual child. Yep. Any other questions? Okay, so that's my little demonstration. I hope it's a wake-up call for a lot of us. I like my pizza night too, you know. I'm not going to lie, but it plays on my conscience too. Yes. Okay. So, the beverages. Okay, we see a lot of the beverages on the market. We tend to like our sweet tooth. So, instead of drinking water when we're thirsty, we drink juice. And we see that a lot with the children. They're quick to grab the juice out of the fridge to drink rather than drinking water, right? One thing my parents used to do when I was younger, I hope they see this videotape, that once the juice finished, that's it. That is it for the month. Water. I don't know if you all growing up, if you ever saw the commercial. Let me go again. I think it was a beverage commercial, and they say the children want something to drink, and the child say, drink water, she says, because they're asking for juice. So that was kind of our motto in the house. When the juice finished, drink water, she says, to encourage you to drink water at home, because once juice done, that's it. They ain't going back to the shop to buy more juice or anything like that. So juice was not an everyday something, it was more like a privilege. Okay, a lot of the things that we make every day now in our homes used to be privileged back then. Ice cream, snacks and things wasn't something you could find in the house every day. You had a burger night or a chip night or something night, and that was it for the week, right? Clean the kidneys and the liver, flush out toxins out of our body. It helps with bowel movement so we don't be constipated. Okay? So water is very vital to our health, and we don't realize it now because we are so set in our ways. But if we were to change our eating habits, drink more water, you will feel the energy more revived. Water doesn't have calories, so it's kind of misleading to say that you feel more energy. But it revives our cell, our body. It hydrates our cells so we are able to function better. Yes? Sorry? With the nutrition facts label, it's a tool that you find on packaged foods that give you information about the content. Okay? So you would see the calories, the nutrients, and so forth that are in it. And it's important depending on to the individual that's using it and how they want to read it. If you're a person and you want to read about how much calories you're consuming in a day, you will focus a lot on the calories. If you're hypertensive, you want to know how much sodium is in it. If you are diabetic, you will look at the sugars. If you are a heart patient or a person that has high cholesterol, you will look at the amount of fats or cholesterol in it. If you tend to have allergies, you will look at the ingredients. So you want to know if it has peanuts in it, seafood in it, or those different kind of things that you may be allergic for. So how you use it depends on the individual and what they're looking for. With the nutrition fact label, there's a way to read it. I have some labels that I can share out that you can also look at. So the nutrition fact label is a guide on the nutrients that is in the label. And how to read it is that you start from the top, go down. Okay, so in the slide presentation, you would see that the serving size is 1 cup. And in this container has 2 servings. I think this is a mac and cheese sample food label. So the container has 2 servings in it. And the rest of the information that's in the food label pertains to the 1 serving. So if you happen to measure out the 1 cup, the rest of the information is pertaining to that 1 cup. So the calories is 250 calories for the 1 serving of mac and cheese. Instead of reading grams and milligrams, that can be a bit confusing. They have what you call the quick guide, which is the percent daily value. And you can use that to determine if the food label is high or low in a nutrient. So if it's 5% or lower, it's low in a nutrient. If it's 20% or higher, it's high in a nutrient. Okay, so if you want to determine if it has enough vitamins or minerals or fiber, if it's lower than 5%, then you know it's not a good source of that vitamin or mineral or fiber. If it's closer to the 20%, then you know it's high in the nutrients. Okay, so you will want to pick that product. However, if you're going to look now at the fat or the sodium, and it tends to be closer to the 20%, you're not going to pick it because it's more on the high end. Okay? Or if it's above the 20%, you know it's very high in that nutrient, the sodium or the cholesterol. Now you'll notice that there's nothing listed on the food label for sugar. It's quite controversial. Why it's not listed? Because if it was listed, it would be very high for a lot of the items. So the 10, not that the 10, but it's not mandatory or by law regulated for companies to list the amount of sugars in an item. How do we? We can't 100%. That's why we need to stick to more fresher foods. Yes. So that's the nutrients that are in yellow. And from the slide, you want to limit those nutrients, and the nutrients that are in blue or purplish color, you want to make sure that you're getting enough of these nutrients from the item you're picking up.
Is that correlated to the pyramid that we looked at earlier?
No, look, the colors aren't correlated to the pyramid. Anybody has the Oreo label? Okay. What does it say? In terms of serving size and calories.
Serving size for package 1,
10%, 8%. That's good, right? Because it's the first meal in the morning, and the first meal in the morning is the most important meal of the day. But when you're looking at the cereals, you have to pay attention to the amount of sugars in it. A lot of the cereals has a lot of sugars in it. So when you're looking at your cereals, you want to make sure that they have a good amount of protein and fiber in it. Protein takes longer to break down in the body, which means that it would hold you over longer in the morning hours. And the fiber will also help with that, because fiber now, when it's in the body, it would take longer for your body to absorb the nutrients from the fiber, and your body can't break down fiber, right? So it passes out of your body, as stool. It helps with bowel movement. That's why with the cereals, you would tend to see a lot of fiber in it. But you have a lot of cereals on the market, unfortunately, has a lot of sugars in it. So when you're choosing your cereals for your kids, you make sure that the sugar content is not too high. Forget about the Fruit Loops, the Frosted Cornflakes, the Captain Crunch, right? Look for the ones. The Cheerios is a good one. They're not so high in the sugars. Okay? I didn't mention why breakfast is so important in the morning. Who can tell me? We kind of talk about it indirectly, but it helps you to stay focused in the morning. It gives your body the energy it needs, and your brain needs energy in order for it to function properly. It needs glucose in order for it to function properly. Okay? So that's why it's important to eat breakfast in the morning before you go to class. I know some of the schools provide breakfast for the children, and that tends to be not before class starts, but during the first break, and you already have class already starting before your first break, right? What subject do they usually offer before first break? I hope it's not maths. Yeah? So they still need to focus for that first lesson in class, right? Because the first lesson in class shouldn't be a warm-up lesson. It's something that they need to learn. So don't send them school with breakfast hoping that first break they're going to eat it. They're missing out something already from the first class that they got. Okay? If you send them, if it's a rush. Some children are old enough to make their own breakfast, so you can guide them to be responsible enough to make their own breakfast. But you as a parent, be there to guide them. Don't just leave it up to them either. Okay, you want them to be responsible, but they want you to be there cheering them on in whatever they do. Okay, and not alone. Okay, so plan ahead. It's all about planning ahead with what you buy and what you prepare at home. Any questions about the food labels? Okay, so eating healthy on a budget has its challenges, especially if you're providing for others in your household. You can't just think about yourself. You're providing for your child, your husband, your partner, your mom, dad, and so forth. So eating on a budget is a challenge, but there are ways that you can overcome these challenges or make it easier for yourself. And what you can do is plan ahead and stick to it. Okay, so you set out your plan, your shopping list, put a shopping list together, stick to your shopping list, stick to the budget that you set for your grocery shopping. Refrain from buying unnecessary things. Something that you don't need, a little lipstick, makeup that just come out, or a bag or a shoe or a shirt or dress. Refrain from buying certain things that are not really necessary and put it towards your shopping budget where you can buy more healthier items. We know that fruits and vegetables is expensive in St. Martin. Okay, we all come to the consensus that fruits and vegetables are very expensive in St. Martin. But we can find ways to still include it in our diet and on our shopping list. Prepare meals at home can cut costs. To buy a meal is $10 and up, right? You hardly find any places that would sell a meal for $7, $6, $8. You tend to find meals now being a little bit more expensive, okay? And with that $10, you can probably buy 3 items or 4 items already that can last you more than one day. So prepare your meals at home. Find time that you can prepare meals at home. Do it with your child. Teach them how to prepare their own meals. It would save money later on when they go away to college. They can do that for themselves. Shop seasonal. Even though we live in the Caribbean, we don't have the 4 seasons like you will find in Holland or in the States, but however, that can still affect the prices that we have here. So we can compare the prices at the different supermarkets, see what's cheaper, buy from our local vendors if you know any local vendors that have local produce and it's affordable. You can shop from them, support your local vendors, support your own. You can grow your own. It's very important. That's something that community development is trying to do with their workshops, is to educate persons to grow their own. You have well-known persons within the community like Bushman that teach persons to grow their own. You have different community gardens that support these kind of things. So you can go to them, be a little educated and find out how to do it. You can go to them to get the seedlings and so forth in order to grow your own. Here I have the shopping list or the grocery list. It's more than just grocery items that are in this list, because when you put your budget aside for shopping, it's not just grocery items you're picking up. You're picking up everything for the household. So this is an example of a shopping list. I have the handouts that will be shared out after the presentation. And you can tweak it to your own liking, to your own personal liking. If you have a notebook that you can use to make your shopping list in, or you print it out on a computer, you can do so and stick to your budget. If you go to the store and you forget an item, first of all, make sure you check what's in your cupboard, check what's needed. You shop for those things and you don't shop for anything else. So if you happen to see past the snack aisle, you pass it straight, head straight, keep going, you don't stop. You don't need to go down the snack aisle because the snack aisle is just snacks. So you should make sure you stick to what's on your list. You don't go when you're hungry, because when you're hungry, that's even more tempting to want to go pick up a snack for later when you're watching. Who watch Power? Yes. You pick up a, a snack for later, right? So you stick to your plan. You take small steps. You take small steps. You don't overwhelm yourself with what the changes that you want to make. Okay, you take one, make it one goal at a time, and you take those steps one goal at a time. You educate yourself more on nutrition. You got a lot of information tonight, but there's more out there, more that you can look for pertaining to your own personal needs that you want to know about. Do some research and educate yourself on it. Manage your time. Plan your time, that you set time to create meals, you set time for family time, to spend time with your kids. Choose healthy snacks, and you prepare your meals in advance so that it's easier to cook it when it's time to cook it. And gradual changes, when you make gradual changes, you're able to have leverage on what you're doing. You're not overwhelmed. You have the willpower to continue with the changes you're making. In doing so, you will avoid pitfalls, and you will be more committed to the changes that you are being able to implement in your lifestyle and in your household.